So, looky there. That's water and junk and crap in the gasoline that was in the mower tank. So that could be the whole problem right there. See, the thing is full. It's gas up above, water and sludge down below. So a good cleaning is obviously called for. That could be the whole problem. So here's Big Valley. It sure needs a mow, but I have not been able to get the DR mower running. So, and the devil's in the details. I have one thing left to replace, and that is the coil, the electrical, you know, the magneto replacement. So I took it off, I cleaned it up. I read up that it is kind of not a usually repaired piece. It's very, very reliable. So anyway, I'm going to replace it and then I'm done. I'll just buy a new one. Yeah, I value my time, and time is what this is taking. So, yeah. Smoking a little Balkan Supreme in a Paranelli bent. Oh yeah. I like the shape. It's simple. It's Italian, but it's simple. Really nicely made pipe. It's just a great shape. It has enough capacity to be kind of useful. So the reed canary grass is taller than I can reach. I tell you what. But luckily the main roadway is fairly clear because I kind of kept up with it fairly well. And I am chomping at the bit to do it again and open this up. So, yeah, I've spent way too much time on that DR mower trying to get it running. I mean, I'm just not a mechanic, you know. I'm just not. I look at the videos and these guys are like fearless, mechanically fearless, you know. And that's very cool. And it's inspirational, I will say. So, I thought, okay, I'm going to get in there and get that coil out. I changed the plug for a new one. No spark, you know. So I think that's all. I mean, there's a switch too, but I unplugged it, and so I tried it, and it still had no spark. So I think, well, maybe I should bypass that switch. But anyway, I you know, the idea is just to take the magneto out, the coil out, and it is easy to get to if it's not in an old DR mower where the wheel gets in the way. You can't get the sheet metal piece that's covering it off that has the flywheel and the starter rope. So you got to get the wheel off. Well, nobody has a video on that. So I was kind of on my own. It's a keyway, and you virtually have to take the whole drivetrain apart to get the wheel off on that one side, or to move it out enough. So I did manage to do that. Much cussing. Swearing is I don't know, it feels good to do it. So there was a lot of that. And, you know, pounding with a wooden piece to drive the axle in, but I don't want to separate it completely because then the keyway might be really hard to get back in. So anyway, I managed to do that. Got the magneto off, or the coil, the ignition module. It's a transistorized thing, and I think that's why it has always run really well and started right up, because it doesn't have points, you know, and so it just runs a lot better until it doesn't. So I cleaned it up, and I thought, well, you know, maybe it just needed to be cleaned up. The electrical contacts to the on-off switch were a little corroded, so I cleaned those up, and I always use a little Lanacoat to grease everything, threads on bolts, everything that goes back in. And yeah, there were a couple really hard to get bolts on that sheet metal cover, but I got them. And spaced it with a business card, you know, that's the gap. And that seems to work well, I don't know, but still no spark. So, you know, Briggs & Stratton said, oh, this should be your last thing to check, because with no moving parts, the coil is really a reliable piece. So, okay, it's the last thing I have to replace. So finding a replacement one, you know, it's not like the olden days when your little small engine repair shop was just down the street. So those guys either have died off or retired or whatever, at least around here. So I guess I'll just order one online, wait another week. Honestly, I should just order a new one with a Honda engine on it. I'm done with this Briggs stuff. You know, the way the sheet metal fit on there was just shitty. You know, I mean, it was just not good. And I don't know. I've just had such good luck with the Honda motorcycle. So all the fire department fans are all Honda engines, you know. So you pay a premium for it, but that's the price you pay, I guess. So, but after losing like the equivalent of a whole day last weekend, like 8+ hours, and then losing 5 hours today, and then part of yesterday, it's just like, I'm just so done with this. I mean, it's mildly interesting how it all goes together and stuff, you know, but god damn it, it has to work. That is my goal. I just want it to work. So, and it is defying me. Or it could be demonic possession, and I should just hire an exorcist. The thought has occurred to me, but I guess we'll leave that as the final possibility. Oh my God. You know, you just don't have enough experience as a total amateur mechanic to deal with this stuff. And then, you know, stuff comes up like that, the axle, the driveline, you know, how to get that apart. And it's just like, there's probably a special tool that would work on that, but I don't have it. And I'm out in my driveway, you know, I don't even have, the guys seem to all have the little lifts in their garage, you know, that the thing perches on at eye level, which would make it so much easier too. I don't have that. I'll look back on this and say, well, it was a good experience, you know, I got a lot of use out of that mower. And it still has value, I think, even non-running. But hopefully I'll get it running. I don't know. And what I would replace it with is not some big monstrosity that is super hard to handle and would get stuck in the mud. but something very similar. You know, this isn't, the old one's an 8 horse, the new one, the new Honda one is like 10.2 horse, so it's equivalent. Just 26-inch deck versus 24 on the old one. It's just new. And the engine has a 3-year residential, or I forget, is that what they call it, residential warranty, and a 3-year commercial warranty. Wow, that's good. The Briggs engines all have 2-year, I think, residential and 90-day commercial. So that tells a little story right there. So, yeah. We just want something that works. So, anyway, it's always calming to come out here to Big Valley. I was kind of looking for bears, but now the far woods over there are in shadow, so that'll make a bear harder to see. I rode the Victory over here. I cleaned it up. You know, I had not ridden that bike in at least 6 months. I start it up every couple weeks. Keep it on a battery tender. But it was getting pretty dirty and looking neglected, so and I think, you know, I should just sell that, because it weighs 200 pounds more than the Honda. And the Honda does everything this does, and does it better, actually, and does a broader range of motorcycling tasks, and gets better mileage, and, you know, is reliable because it's a freaking Honda. So not that the Victory's been so unreliable, but it does have its moments. So I rode it over here to Big Valley. It's about a 20-minute ride, and I forget how much I like that bike. It's big, but it handles so well, and it has high quality suspension components and sticky 17-inch radials, and it doesn't have ultimate ground or cornering clearance, but it's just so much fun to carve corners with, and it just kind of lopes along. It's got 60,000 miles on it, so who knows, at some point I'll probably be making a video on fixing the goddamn Victory, but for the time being it seems to be running well. Yeah, this is great. When I first got here, the reed canary grass, which you can see out here, this tall stuff, covered the road completely. You couldn't even see the road. And I had to come in here with a weed whacker and weed whack it down. That was pretty tedious. But it just gets so big and kind of woody when it and it wraps around the spindle on the mower. So, I don't know. You just have to keep at it and keep it mowed. But this place is fulfilling for me what I wanted, which is kind of a quiet place to come, and also something to be a little get a little exercise at, you know. So, and an investment too. So it's fulfilling all that. That Balkan Supreme's pretty dry, so it goes down pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I can ride the Victory at all is an indication to me that I'm as back to normal as I'll ever be. So, and that's not quite 100% of where I was like a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago. But I think that's just kind of how it works, you know. You get back almost to where you were. Where you were is up here, but you're almost there. Yeah, so. And that's enough. I mean, that's good enough. I can do pretty much everything I want to do. I just do it a little slower. Yeah. So, and more considered. You don't want to do something wrong and screw something up. You don't want to do that. So. Kids are playing baseball up in the ball field. I can hear them up there. So this property is 58 acres, and it is in kind of two rectangles joined. And one of them goes up super steep hill, cliffy even, up on top, and that's where the ball fields are. So. Still got to take a little trek through the woods there, because it is just primordial. You feel like you're 1,000 miles away from civilization. So yeah. Great place to have a pipe smoke too. So there's a little poop, pretty husky poop. I would say that's probably coyote. The lighter is there for scale, but yeah, that's coyote, I'm sure. Pretty husky though.